speaking on the Game Awards, but not the announcements of the awards themselves. There weren't enough. There wasn't enough award giving in this Game Awards.
Yeah, there was like 47 minutes total, I think.
Giving awards, yeah, because I was gonna say it was in total it was like 3 hours, but most of it was
Yeah,
like
that's what I meant. Yeah.
most of it was like trailers. The awards didn't get enough attention. The celebrities announcing the nominees got more screen time than the devs we were supposed to be celebrating. And Jeff speed ran giving out awards. He barely allowed most categories to be announced on the stage or have their winners pick up the awards and give a small speech. This awards show, focuses too much on announcing new games, and that needs to change. Every
Right.
award and its nominees, every single one, even down to the ones that you think don't. I'm gonna be real. The only ones that I think should continue to be speed run, which are the content creator, esports, all of that.
Yeah, it's like nobody cares. I
Speed
don't know who these people are.
speed run those at the beginning of the show like they always do in the pre-show. But when it comes to all of the main awards, every single one of the awards in the main show should be announced on stage, and someone should come up, pick up the award, and give a speech. That is what we should be getting 3 hours of, not three
Right.
hours of new games. Every award, what is that? Actually, what was I about to say? Oh yeah, every award and its nominee should be announced on stage, and they should also have more than 30 seconds to give a speech. God damn it! I know Christopher Judge gave a really long speech last year. It was insane and hilarious, but it was also a really good and heartfelt speech after he won, the award for best voice actor, um,
Right.
for Kratos. And they made a joke about it at the beginning. He made a joke saying his speech last year was longer than the most recent Call of Duty campaign, which was hilarious. Um, but I feel like they took it too far and barely let people speak, especially when one
Yeah.
of the devs from Larian, Baldur's Gate 3 were up there talking about how people passed away and they were telling them get off the stage and trying to play them off. I'm like, Jesus Christ! Was it one at one
It's like
point?
what?
And one of them was a genuine mistake. I think on one part that like I get, but also was still weird. Was a guy and a woman came up. The guy gave his speech, and then he stepped to the side to let the woman give a speech. But I guess they thought that they were both about to just walk off stage. But instead, she walked up to the mic, and then they started playing the music for the next segment. And
Mhm.
they played that over top of her talking, and I was like, Jesus, cut the music off. Now that you know that she's speaking,
Right.
it was weird, man. Like, let us
It
like
feels
it's called the Game Awards, not the
for a
game
reason.
trailers. You literally have other shows for this, Jeff Keighley. And I understand you need money, but the stuff he's showing wasn't even ads; they were game trailers. Like, come on,
Mm.
like you gotta be better about this. You gotta find a way to do it a little bit better. Less trailers,
Strike
more
a
awards.
balance. Yeah.
Like it's okay to speed run some of them. Like not I don't like I can see some of them being speed run, but not all of them. Like as much as he did. Like it's crazy. But
Right.
also the categories no longer make sense. Um there were categories that they have made since 10 years ago, but every day the divisions between genres become ever more blurred, and most video games can't fit into just one. Plus, we've got problems like Dave the Diver being nominated for best debut indie, despite the fact that it is not an indie game. It was published by what is it Nexon, which is like a big studio, and also
Oh, is that
Cyberpunk.
why it was controversial?
Yeah, and Cyberpunk not necessarily fitting in amongst the many games as a service games in best ongoing category, but deserving the recognition for sticking with Cyberpunk for so long and turning it into the great game that it is today. And it should be held up as an example for other developers. Um, I talked to you a little bit about it before, because I knew we were gonna talk about so much stuff that I didn't mind having a conversation beforehand. But this comment from Rockefeller 360 under a GameSpot video titled "Video Game Award Categories Are Broken," I think has the best solution to this problem that I've seen. They said
Hmm.
awards should focus more on game elements instead of games as a whole. For example, like the already existing best sound design or best art direction. Instead of having best action game, have best action gameplay. Instead of having best RPG game, have best RPG integration, etc. That way, games don't have to be tied down and defined as a single genre, and we instead can celebrate which studios accomplish certain gameplay aspects the best. Also, best
Right.
ongoing game would be better as best evolved game, celebrating which game developed the most in the past year instead of which game as the service is the generically the best. Like genres, the lines between genres are so blurred that isolating games to genres doesn't make sense anymore. The only games that should still be isolated by genres, I think, are two, maybe three, which are um, fighting games and first person shooters. Because
Yeah.
those don't, like, first person shooters, like fighting games at the very least, don't tend to cross over with like other genres. Like that's just its own thing that should continue to be its own thing. First person shooters, you
Right.
got games like Doom. Technically, Cyberpunk 2077 is a bit of a first person shooter because it's only first person.
Hmm.
That could fit into that category as well. But I think that's fine. I think first person shooters, fighting games, should continue to be their own categories as genres. But I think that, like they said, we should have, instead of best, like there's two separate categories. One called best action and one called best action adventure. What? That's ridiculous.
Right.
I talked to you in person. It's like they said we should have best action gameplay, and specifically that one is for combat. So you can have games like that are technically in different genres, like Lies of P, Spider-Man 2, Final Fantasy 16, like Baldur's Gate 3 and stuff like that in the same genre. But we're talking about how they do combat specifically, how they do action gameplay, and then of course they said best RPG integration, talking about the specific mechanics of RPGs rather than generic RPGs, because Final Fantasy 16 in a lot of ways isn't really an RPG. So it doesn't make sense to be nominated in there, whereas other games do. So like yeah, they next year the Game Awards I think next year is their this was the 10th annual Game Awards, but I think next year is going to be the 10th year Game Awards. So they got to make some big changes for the 10th year anniversary.
Definitely.